What is up, everyone? And if you don't know what this series is, it's pretty much me listing off my 5 most favorite playthroughs on this channel. My channel is young. I'm around 8 to 9 months within this YouTube biz, and I started getting into the gear of things around 5 to 4 months right into me starting YouTube. Now, I haven't played a lot of games, and a lot of games I have abandoned, sadly. So picking a top 5 was not as hard because the selection is not even oversaturated in any way. Hopefully in 2013 there will be a wide variety of games I will play and make this list, and this list may become longer or may become a lot harder to put together. So here we go. Starting on with the countdown. Are you ready for the feels, guys? That's right. Number 3 is Katwa Shouju. Katwa Shouju is a visual novel made by 4 Leaf Studios. We have to date girls with disabilities. Well, it's not as simple as that. You follow the story of Hisio Naki, a boy who finds out he has heart arrhythmia when the girl he loves confesses to him. He is then forced into going to a school that caters for people with disabilities. In the game, you watch Hisio grow up as a person. He learns that everyone may look different on the outside, but in the inside, they're pretty much the same throughout. With each of the 5 love interests within this game, depending on which one you go after, you learn about different aspects to make yourself a better person for later on in life. The subjects of change that I have come across with are honesty for Lily, friends for Zun and Misa, and independence for Hanako. The game is very, very long. It has a total of, let's say, 6 paths. And now each path has its own little branching choices, but the choices don't really vary per path. Only a little bit changes and maybe a line of dialogue, but nothing drastic changed unless it's the last choice within the last question of the last option that you have to choose for a girl. And now what it seems to when it comes to this visual novel, everyone seems to have a favorite. Like me personally, I like Lily's path, and that's obviously because of a lady friend I dated. But to others, you may like Hanako more, you may like Rin more, you may like Emi more, you may like Zun more. But it seems it all depends on personal preference. When I started to play this game, I totally noticed that there was favorites picked up, and how people wanted me to play specific girls because that was their favorite. Now it turns out that this game weighs heavily on preferences, obviously. Hanako was the most boring, dull playthrough that I did, but the same could be said to Lily's, because if you honestly think, nothing really happens in Lily. There's only a good ending, and there's a neutral ending. Nothing crazy happens, it's more about the relationship. Now for Hanako, the reason I didn't like it, because I don't like quiet girls. Most of the girls that I've associated with my life are quiet, and they've caused so much problems, even though they are quiet. I totally didn't like Hanako as a character. She seems like that typical blah 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 girl, but yet you could say, again, for Lily, she's that typical rich girl, demeanor, blah blah blah. But honestly, it's all preference for each one. Sadly, when I think about it, each path you take, there's gonna be one interesting or some interesting thing. But you won't find it interesting unless you like the girl, and which is sad because Hanako's path I don't like, and Zun's path is okay, but that's only because it's silly. Lily's path, I loved it, but in actuality, it's just boring. I have a love-hate relationship with Katwa Shouju because it's not one of the best visual novels, and it's not the worst. It's somewhere in between of where it could be good and bad. But sadly, it's not terribly good, and sadly, it's not terribly bad. It's just 5. It's just a 5 out of 10 if I were to give it a rating. Next on the countdown, is this just another boring courtroom drama, or something with a little more flair and twist? Coming up next, my second pick on my top 5 favorite games I played on my channel.